Good morning. Welcome to the stream. It's going to be the second on the bi-weekly kind of order of things. Summer Regret came out, and you guys have been very friendly about it, like super supportive. Thank you, everyone, for the comments on the video and for listening and adding to playlists. It's really important that when stuff gets added, like it really means so much to how like streaming works. So thank you. We're just going to go over Summer Regret, and I think it makes sense to go over the Forest Grand and Blue Flares, which is also on the release. Another piano centric release coming from a similar place. So with Summer Regret, this was such a spontaneous piece. It was really the course of like a day, actually, that this was written and recorded. I had felt like almost kind of stagnant in what I was doing at the time. And this, on the whole, led to some choices to just like try and, sorry for a second, got a notification. Led to some choices to like just try and break out of that. So I just sat down at the piano and I'm like, okay, let me just put as much melody as I can into something and just do it. Because I was just feeling so like cooped up, which I know is like a feeling that a lot of people can have when like you're not really taking advantage of your time. But I just was really happy with how everything worked. I'm just gonna play it right now, actually. I was really happy with how this came together so quickly. And I just threw my mics on the piano, spent a long time mixing it, trying to capture the rawness and like urgency of this. So first melody, I was like, okay, this is great. I can keep this melody and I can make this the entire piece. But then I'm like, okay, next melody, it slows down a little bit. Third melody, right? And then back to the whole syncopation. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in the left hand, which just means like almost like a waltz kind of thing. 6/8, and then the right hand is doing its own thing. When I say doing its own thing, I just mean it's kind of clashing against something, but in a really nice way, I think. And then everything. This part's so fun to play. I added in like an extra little melody. That dun dun dun. This one was released under my own name, so no label involved in this. I just wanted to get something out there for you guys. I was hoping for this to be kind of like tender at the end. And then we're out. I think the urgency of this, I can't say urgency today. I think the urgency of this piece comes across because I feel like I had to, well, it comes across just because the rhythms are so um, lined up and clashing and complementary to each other. I also feel like just the speed of the main melody, like da 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 da, is just so quick. And I think just doing something that like breaks me out of this feeling when I get this way is really helpful. Like I said, it was just like, let's just do this, finish it, start it in one day. Of course, like editing and mixing takes a little bit, but on the whole, this is just one day of trying to make something as tight as possible, in and out, and spontaneous. Obviously, the feeling, without going into too much detail, keeps some of the mystery alive, but this feeling is something I think a lot of people can relate to. I didn't want to go too bright and cheerful in this title. I feel like this level of regret that people have, I know what it means to me. I know where it's coming from for me in my experiences with people, and I just am happy to have shared this. The video was a lot of fun to put together. I filmed all of that myself, because I, again, just spontaneous. I got the camera and I just got it together and edited it myself. I cannot speak today. Edited it myself and put it out there just to have a companion for this, like a friend to go along with this. So that was all as spontaneous as possible. Album art I designed myself this time around over there, and I'm trying to play around with more like brighter greens and color, um, and that's going to be it for Summer Regret. So just before we go into Forest Grand, which I think is a good complement to this, I think yeah, just a little bit about like what I'm going up to these next few weeks, and what I'm really doing is I'm kind of trying to like get some updated branding and whatnot for marketing, and get some new pictures. I have a great location that I hope works out. Permit fees are expensive, which sucks, but it's a photographer I've worked with for a while, and I'm going through that, kind of just updating things. I'm trying to update all these fonts and whatnot. Um, I'm still working on merch. We've had our first, me and the designer have had our first round of kind of review, and I really like how it's going. So merch is coming along. I'm kind of updating my whole image and everything, and still going to be super into like the nature side. There's going to be that ambient angle. I have this like selection of releases coming together that's going to be super ambient in the fall that I'm really excited about as part of a series kind of I'm doing, that I was just wrapping up, but I need some time to get it mastered from my guy in Poland that I usually work with on stuff like that. So between all of this, it's just a summer of just trying to make the most of this time I have to update some things, take care of some loose ends with oh wait, how long have I been muted for? It's ridiculous. Forest Grand is this current track. Came out in 2020. Sorry for being muted. I didn't really say much aside from kind of everything a little bit of what I've been up to. I think that was on mic. But Forest Grand, I was just saying, is kind of like a sister piece to Summer Regret in a way. That more melancholic kind of summer feel. And I'm really thankful for this piece's attention. It's done pretty well on streaming over the last 3 years. And with this one, the bass is such a focus to have that kind of booming quality. There's a light delay behind the whole piano, which just means that you're hearing some notes and sounds reverberate and repeat behind the piano, which I thought was a nice way to kind of reflect the density of like the forest, the woods, and the mountains. And obviously, Forest Grand, the title, kind of a play on just like grand piano, but also the forest is grand, so might seem pretty obvious, but and this melody just constantly ascending and ascending is something I'm really trying to do here. Again, I haven't listened to this for a long time, like maybe 2 years. Crazy, because I've been writing so much. So listening with you guys is great. You're gonna hear the bass, I think. Yeah, very subtle bass there at the end. Forest Grand is very much a lullaby. I'm sure you guys can pick up on that. Very much something that is lulling you to sleep in kind of a way, or into a trance in the woods. That was the goal. I hope it comes across. But I'm really appreciative of everyone that's listened to that and been sharing it. It's awesome. I'm really thankful. Blue Flares is the next one. So this one is done better on like sync and stuff. So just meaning that people are downloading it to use in their videos. Blue Flares, very much the title. Just going for the image of a flare. That's blue. It's so simple. I don't have a long story behind this one or anything. I just thought it was cool. I was going for very much a singular vision. The coolest thing about this piece that I think is overlooked and something I like is I used, I think, like 4 pianos. Well, 1 piano 4 times. Slightly out of tune piano. I feel like I muted myself. I feel like I'm mumbling words. I just feel I've been kind of tired. I got up to go to like exercise at 5:30 this morning, and I haven't done that for a bit. So I'm just like feeling good, but very clumsy, stubbing my toes on everything today. I spilled coffee all over the floor earlier. Yeah, definitely a mess today. There's little piano Easter eggs hidden in the left and the right channels of your ears. Little tiny sound effects here and there. Then this build at the end, I took everything down a notch. Kind of like a 2000s chord progression almost, like late 90s. This change. I don't know why. Now this is not as 2000s-y, but that little part's like a little bit old Fiona Apple or something like that. And this is just me. All those layers of the pianos. I was trying to be sensitive but loud, not too aggressively loud and bombastic, but just a sense of largeness. Bit of piano solos going on. It's all me. Long fade out on that. Still going. Yep. Still going. And then it's done on that last hit of the piano. Um, yeah, I think Summer Regret works well together with Forest Grand. I think there's a sense of urgency that's missing from the Forest Grand in Summer Regret. I think something that's more accurate to how people are sometimes I feel in moments of that free time or downtime where there's some change or missed opportunities or fading connections. Um, in Summer Regret, I think that's a good way to put it. And then Forest Grand is almost like the recovery from those feelings. I feel like it's a pairing that I think makes sense. And Blue Flares doesn't totally fit into that kind of story, but I think it's a cool little piece, and I was hoping that people would use it in videos, and they have. So maybe not a streaming darling, but it's a useful piece. I think it contributes something that is not super obvious in the other music that I have. So Summer Regret, Forest Grand. Thanks again for listening to all that on streaming. I was trying to think if there's any other updates before I go. So I've just been writing, like I said, I've been working on the ambient track. It's actually 3 ambient tracks. Again, as part of a series of singles that's going to be being released. Um, I'm just like so out of it today, but still feeling good. I have the photo shoot thing coming up in a couple days, as I mentioned. That I'm excited to share that with you guys. Hopefully, it goes according to plan. It's going to be hot in the morning, and I sweat so easily. So hopefully, it's not going to be like a miserable time in the garden and on the grounds. I'm taking some photos with, like I said, an old collaborator who's always done a really good job on my pictures. I think I realized I haven't updated stuff for like 2 years, so it's been too long. I mean, I've cycled through different pictures, but the photo shoot from the stuff I've gotten has been 2 years ago, and that's too long because things change, and I want to pursue a little bit of a different kind of vibe. Right now, everything I have is shot in a studio. I'm flipping that. We're heading back into nature, and we're trying some different stuff. And I'm looking forward to that. I have a big soundtrack. I can't believe I didn't mention this. Not big, reasonable soundtrack. "Come as You Are," not competing with the Nirvana song, but unfortunately it is. I have that coming out in like a week. So it's another collaboration I did with Alex Sali, the Alaskan director. And it's definitely like kind of like an ambient. If you guys know my piece, my soundtrack Rising, I did with her. I worked on that. It's kind of similar to Rising in a way, but there's more versions. I did some more fun versions. There's like a sped up version coming into it, and there's one without drums. So I did work with another tribal drummer on this, an old collaborator, Andrew Weaver. His stuff's on streaming, and it's great to support him as well. Um, that's going to be coming out, and keep an eye out for "Come as You Are." It's going to have like an elk on the cover near Denali, and that is something I'm really looking forward to. I know it seems like I release music a lot because I do. Summer Regret just came out, so I apologize if that's too much, but just you can pace it out on your own. Even if you just add the playlists early on and then listen when you want to, that helps a ton to trigger the algorithm. And thanks to everyone who's specifically been listening on Apple Music, because I feel like I'm having some of my best months ever on that. So watching that grow has been really crazy. It's been wild, and I appreciate that. Of course, I have to give like my biggest thanks to everyone at Spotify who's helped playlist things over the years, and everyone listening. And I think this new kind of brand that's coming out is going to be more of a return to form, but with an updated kind of more current sense of identity. So I'm hoping that comes across. If it doesn't, then I'll probably regret talking about it with you guys. But I think it will, because I trust this process. And I'm looking forward to touching base after Come As You Are arrives. I'm going to talk a little bit about that and everything else. I'm updating some of my stuff in my studio. I also was feeling like, aside from branding, like I need to get my act together. I have a very minimal studio setup. I believe that's a good thing because I think some people buy too much stuff in any hobby or career. People tend to just like overbuy things because they're advised to, and they don't use it, or they're just overwhelmed by the amount of choices they have. So I kind of accumulate things very slowly. I learned that lesson early, and I'm having some stuff come in just to make my life easier. Like I turn on my whole setup with my toe under my desk. I have like a power strip. It's ridiculous. Why do I not have a button I can just press on my desk? So I'm fixing that problem as well and working on some other things. Um, got a lot of new like instruments and kind of setting myself up for a lot of really good releases. I think this late summer and fall, but um, on the whole, just trying to stay active and everything and stay very relaxed for this photo shoot because I can get so stressed out and something like that. I don't like it, but the photographer Anna, who I work with, is very comforting. So fingers crossed that goes well, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. I don't know if I'm going to keep uploading these to YouTube, so follow me on Twitch if you're watching on YouTube. I think I might stop uploading on YouTube and just only do Twitch. Not sure. I'll figure that out. But thanks a lot, and thanks for listening and hearing a little bit about my two releases that I think work well together. Thanks again,